Hello and welcome to the Cyprus International Film Festival. Please can I invite the directors or representatives of the films to join me up here for a question and answer session. Okay, yes, well, congratulations to all the filmmakers on your wonderful films. Could we have another round of applause, please? And welcome again to the 18th Cyprus International Film Festival, especially to those of you who have travelled to be here. We're very excited to be screening the films today, and I wanted to go straight in and open up the floor to questions from the audience.
Maybe each person first say which film they are.
Of course, that's a good idea. Yes, if you'd like to introduce your films, yourselves and your films, please.
Hello, I'm Marius, and I made the first music video, Freedom from Today.
I'm Melissa Kudinova, and I made The World of Many Memories. This was the first one.
Hi, I'm Emma, and I did the dance film The Birdcage.
My name's Lulu Keating, and I did Don't Bring Lulu, but here I am.
Hello, I'm Juan, and I was the performer of the music for the film Nicosia, which is the illustration making in collaboration with Vilda, and she is from Helsinki. She couldn't come.
Hello, I'm Carly, and my film is See You Soon, the one that just screened right now.
Thank you very much and welcome. Does anybody in the audience have any questions for our filmmakers? Okay, I can start us off. My question would be if any of the filmmakers have any thoughts on any of the other films that they've seen today.
So, you made the one about the guy who thinks he's got all the power in the world and it's got, yeah. I just thought it was brilliant. And I think that if we had more people who could see the world from the other side, it would sure solve a lot of problems.
Thank you.
And I want to say bravo to everyone to support this festival and to all of the creators for the good job. And thank you very much.
Thank you. I also wanted to ask if anyone wants to jump in, what did you find most challenging about making your film?
So I will start saying that Cosquetos was developed during the pandemic, and the first thing that was made was the music, and from the music we started developing the other part and the illustrations. And for us was challenging to create a sort of like a sense of intimacy. We were separate, but that challenge turned into an opportunity for us to know more about our work. And I think that we invited an editor, and the editor did a very interesting job. And we didn't know him, and at the end of the day, he became like the person we knew better, and was also the one who put us in touch. So I would be like, the editing part was the most challenging aspect of the film.
I guess for Don't Bring Lulu, it was basically meant as the bookends of my life as a filmmaker. So I made a film in 1980. My first film was called Lulu's Back in Town, and it was a 2-minute animated film and based on a song from the 1940s. So when I did somebody gave me the sheet music, and so it was kicking around for about 20 years, and it wasn't until I got to this age that I thought, why don't I try to make a film with it as a completion of my 43 years of making films. And because it's so hard to make a living as a filmmaker, and there are so many ways that you have to divert in order to make a living, I finally realized the hell with applying for just enough money to pay me a small bit of money. So I did up a budget that was realistic for me and the other co-animator to be able to live with the project and work on it, well paid for 2 months, and our editor and a tech advisor. And so I applied for a grant of 37,000 Canadian, which is probably about 24,000 euros, and got the grant from the Canada Council for the Arts. So finally I was financed, and it took me so damn long in my life to be able to learn how to get finance for my work, but I think that was the challenge and the revelation with this film.
Yeah, I think for me the biggest challenge was also the budget. We had basically nothing. So to get everything together, we had 2 days of shooting in this beautiful location, north in Germany. And another challenge that happened was also that we shot right in the middle of a hurricane. So outside was going insane. We had some lights outside because some of the scenes were filmed in daylight, no, in night, but with daylight. And also the dance scene outside, the ground was so wet that we had some problems with the choreography as we had planned, because it didn't work as well. Like, we got kind of stuck, the movement wasn't as fluid, so we sat down during lunch, we went through the movement together again, and we just kind of made some adjustments to make it work. But yeah, there were it was a challenge, but it was great.
I also want to say about budget, because our budget was really low, it's about 1,000 euros. So everyone who were in film, they made it for free, even actors and a lot of people in crew. So, and we tried to take money from crowdfunding, and it was also pretty difficult. So I guess it's pretty good for this budget.
So now I'm thinking, what is the most not easy thing in that music video? So the Freedom from Today is a music video, and we send this song into the space. It's about peace. And I sing this song with Tucci. I think the most not easy part is how we communicate what we do, because what happened with the politicians and with the interviews, maybe we make this song about freedom, but the most not easy thing is to explain what you do, and don't, sorry, my English is not very good, but I try the best to not misunderstanding about what we want to say. So it is about our song.
Thank you very much. Could I just check with the audience if anybody else would like to ask a question based on the responses? Okay, well, and would anybody on stage like to say anything else?
Was it shot in the middle, or it was shot?
Yeah, it was shot in the middle.
And are you still based there? Are you still?
No, I actually do live in Milan, sorry.
So.
I do live in Milan, but a lot of my friends have traveled, and a lot of my family is not here anymore. So that's basically what my film is about. And the most challenging part for me was actually making the short film all in all, because it was my first time writing a script from scratch and directing actors. So most of the time on set, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I had to keep it together, fit it, and I made it basically. So I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much to our filmmakers for sharing their thoughts today, and I hope you've enjoyed watching their films as well on screen. Thank you very much. Can we have a huge round of applause again?
So, Juan Castellón, you just presented a beautiful film, a music video. You're a musician from Colombia,
Yes.
and also the director.
Yes, that's correct.
What did inspire you to make the film? How did it all start?
So everything started when I was invited to Jerusalem, and a Jewish friend took me to her favorite place in Jerusalem, and she brought me to a Coptic church, and we went there. We went to a dwell, and I asked for permission to perform a musical instrument, which is called the ney. So the music we listen to in the film, it's an improvisation of this instrument. It's a reed instrument that is the sacred instrument of Islam. So I made a prayer or like an improvisation in this very special place, which is full of resonance. And it's that place is where the water was taken to build the church for Jesus' shrine. So it's a very significant and special place. So the film tells and resonates this encounter between the sense of intimacy of people for whom the sacred is something that is hidden, but at the same time it's something that resonates, that vibrates with all of us. So the film shares that. The film presents that in a way in which the two hands are coming together, in which these feathers are coming together, in which the ear is opening this space in which we can be together, in which we can feel each other. So the film is also an invitation to treat each other kindly, to learn, and to it's a reminder of a form of coexistence.
Where can people see the film? Is it online?
Yes, it is online. This Finnish art collective published the film originally during the pandemic. So people can type Kosketus Sense of Touch on YouTube, and they can find it and watch it.
Kosketus Sense of Touch on YouTube.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes, but today the version we presented here, it has Greek subtitles because there is a poem at the end. So people who are going to watch the YouTube version, they will find it just in English. Yeah. But today people will have the chance to see the Greek version of the film.
Good, good. Congratulations.
Thank you so much
for being selected and for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Были да, то же самое, но искать далеко.
Я вот из житницы, там
Please do come to the front.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for staying. Thank you for yes. So I'll pass the microphone along for the filmmakers to introduce themselves and their films.
Actually, I'm a cinematographer, and our director Alisa couldn't come to the festival, but we made the film live.
I'm Maya, I'm the director of Moncata. My name is Nikki, and I'm the reporter and the editor of the film about the circus and the acrobats in Hungary.
Hi, I'm I'm Michael Bukovansky. I'm the director, screenwriter, and editor to Barbarons.
I'm Liliana Meropoulou, and my film was the short art experimental animation Fragmented.
Thank you and welcome, and thank you very much for allowing us to screen your films. I'd like to open up questions to the audience.
How do you know the Ukrainian circus kids? How did the filmmaker come to find this team and how did the film come about?
I found the team because I'm half Ukrainian, half Hungarian, and when the war started in Ukraine 1.5 years ago, I know about the kids. And 9 months was the war is gone when I think with my crew to make a film about this, a documentary film. We are working for the Hungarian Public Service Media, so that's our mission to show what is going on in Hungary, and I'm working for a program who shows the culture in Hungary and the Ukrainian culture in Hungary. So because I'm half Ukrainian, so I think that's how I find them. So I was translator for them for Hungarian, Ukrainian, and they come to Hungary. So, and after that, it was exactly to do it.
And we have a question here.
Yeah, well, so it's about maybe aesthetic. So I will not go to like explain the symbols. What you see there, it's there. But like if I was supposed to talk about the visual side of it, we wanted something that would be visual, strong and recognizable. And the aesthetic goal actually was to make it in a way to look like a commercial, and my goal was to make it look like a commercial or a washing machine, something that looks like a little silly, to point out the allegory that's in the story.
Thank you very much. And do we have any other questions from the audience?
I'd like to ask a question for Magata. Did you have an African background or something? Because it felt like the culture and the way they spoke, the family with the father, they were very authentic and really captured the gist of an African adult culture.
Thank you. Well, I worked as a volunteer in Sicily for many years, welcoming the African refugees who arrived there. And many of them speak Yoruba or Pidgin English, so I tried to, work together with the actor who comes from Nigeria and whose family speaks Yoruba. We built this language. Like I made a mix, for the words that the father uses with daughter, like very special loving words. We kept Yoruba, and then we adapted Pidgin English and English for maybe to understand.
Thank you. Any further questions? Well, I'd like to invite our wonderful audience to give a huge round of applause to the films and the filmmakers.
Well, actually, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like I should be there. They separated me.
Well, there is kind of.
There was a documentary yesterday, right, about that.
Ah, what's your documentary?
There was.
Peugeot из такси 2 и, я не знаю, аэронамигат 2000 года.
Hello, Sarah. You are here. You presented a film called Harel. You're from Lebanon. Tell me about the concept of the film. How did you have the idea to film this story?
Yeah, so my film is based on a true story, an experience that I went through. It's about the explosion in Beirut that happened in August 2020. So I wanted to make this film just to show how mentally I was affected by this day, and to show how psychologically these situations stay with you and it takes a long time to get over.
So your film is a single shot film, and it has a duration of around 15 minutes. How does it serve to have a single shot film?
Yeah, so I picked to shoot my film in one take because I wanted the audience to feel like they are with the character and feeling the exact feelings of the character, and the unease and the imperfection of the camera is to show this anxiety and this heartbeat and this mental state that the main character is feeling, hearing. So I really wanted the audience to feel like they are in her subconscious, in her brain, inside of her, feeling everything that she's seeing and feeling.
Is your film available online for people to see, or not yet? Is it exclusive?
It's exclusive for now because it's still running in the festivals, but it will be soon.
Have you shown it to other festivals as well, or is?
Yes, I showed it. The premiere was in Lebanon, which was amazing to show it in Beirut. The film is also dedicated to Beirut and everyone that was affected by this day, so it was really beautiful to premiere my film there. And then it was selected here in Cyprus and America and 5 other festivals, and some festivals in Europe.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Great success.
Thank you.
So hello, Sandra. You're presenting your film. It's playing inside the theater right now. It's called 3-Story Comedy.
Yes.
Is it a comedy?
Well, our title is a 3-story comedy, but beside the comedic elements, it offers drama, even thrillers in some parts. Comedy is something that we use throughout the whole film as a vehicle to deal with emotions that our characters are going through. But yeah, I would say for me it's funny, you know. Comedy is always an ungrateful genre to do, because if it's funny for you, it doesn't mean it will be funny to everyone else. But from what I hear from people and from what I think, I do think it would go in the genre comedy drama.
Yeah, and you have used comedy as a vehicle to present some truths about the human nature and human psychology.
We did, yes, a lot. I talked a lot with my cast, with my actors about it, how the film is written and how much we can push the comedy in certain parts. And I do think it is, for me, it is a nice way to say something, to make audience feel something without putting something, you know, directly in their face, in more subtle way and gentle way and fun way, you know. I love watching comedy, and I do think it's hard to write a comedy, just because you never know will it work, you know. It's especially if it's a foreign film, so you don't know will it be universal. But I hope we managed to make people feel what we were, what our intentions were.
So the story is about the life in a building, and they have some issues with plumbing. How did you come up with the story?
Well, I wanted to do a film about neighbors. I grew up in a building that is similar to a building in my film, and I moved a lot as a young adult. I lived in London for 4 years, then in New York for 6 years, and I changed numerous apartments at that period of time. And I never felt like the neighborhood or the building where I was living, I never felt that vibe that I was feeling in my building where I grew up. This is like an old building where generations lived in, you know, like my grandmother and my friend's grandmother lived there before we were born, so it's like generations know each other. And for me that was always very, very interesting, and how this type of neighbors is very nostalgic right now, since our lives are so different, you know, we move a lot. And that was the idea where I wanted, that was the world where I wanted to set my story.
So there are isolated people, the tenants are isolated, but they are united because there's a big issue with plumbing. Yeah?
Yes, they unite at the very end of the film, but they're isolated. They don't seem maybe at first isolated, as I feel none of us feels or looks like that, you know. The film is about, as we call it, the disease of 21st century, which is loneliness. We all are so connected to everything, to the world, to other people, but you never felt lonelier, you know, when you stay alone. And we are so focused on ourselves. So the film is talking about those topics as well, you know, about loneliness, kindness, what does it mean to have a community where you live, or any kind of community, what does that mean, and when is the moment when we realize, does it always need that something bad happens, you know, so we realize what the right thing is. So those are some of the topics that the movie explores.
In how many festivals has it been presented, your film?
It's been to quite a few festivals for now. I don't know, maybe 15, 20-ish. First showing that we had it domestically in Serbia. And that was, I will never forget a feeling when your first feature film is being presented for the first time. And it was in the city of Niš. And they have this big summer stage, so it fits like 3,000 people, so it's huge. It's the biggest screening that I had. My Belgrade premiere wasn't that big, so this was our first showing, and I was out of my mind. I was just like, I had no idea what is happening. I was so nervous. It is something, you know, you work for 3-4 years or something, and it's, as a writer and director, every story that you write and direct kind of takes your most intimate thoughts, you know, and it's such a lonely process in some moments. And then all of a sudden, 3,000 people is watching that, you know. You really feel very vulnerable in those situations. But the festival run was great. I'm always very happy to see how different audiences in different cities and countries react differently on the film, you know, how they take something else. It's a sample film, so we have many characters, and every time I hear from someone like how they connected to someone completely different than the other person, you know. So I think that's very, very interesting.
This is your first film?
Of course, it's my first film.
Your first feature film?
Yeah, my first feature. Yeah, I have many short films before this. This is my first feature film. And I will definitely continue. I can't wait to do my second feature, but for now, right now, at the moment, I'm developing a mini-series for Serbia. Hopefully, maybe it will go international, but for now, it's for domestic market. I'm also working as a director on a few American projects and developing my feature, and I can't wait to to start filming it, you know. Not sure when it will happen, hopefully in the next year or two. But yeah, I will definitely continue with filming.
Excellent. So, where can people watch the film? Are there any online platforms, video on demand?
For now, not yet, but there definitely will be, so they should just check every now and then. I do feel like from the next year, from the beginning of next year, the film will be available on some video on demand platform.
I wish you lots of success.
Thank you so
with your
much.
film. It's called Three-Story Comedy, and it's nominated for Best Film at the Cyprus International Film Festival.
Yeah, it has, I'm not even sure for what is nominated, but it has like a few nominations. They just let me know today about them, so today I landed, so I didn't even have a chance to check all of them. But we have a few nominations, so let's see, let's hope. But it's always good being a part of the festival. Honestly, I know people always say it's not about the awards, but it's really not. It's just like being able to showcase your film to some other countries, some other nations, some other people. It's honestly amazing.
Yeah. And it will continue to other festivals, I'm sure. They will accept it, they will select it, and award it. So I hope to see you again at the award ceremony.
Thank you so much. I hope to see you too.
Please welcome Sandra, the director. Wonderful. Please could we have another round of applause for the film? Welcome everybody to the Cyprus International Film Festival, and to Sandra as well. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for the invite, and thank you so much to everyone from the Serbian embassy here who organized the cocktail for us and who extended invitation to everyone who is here, I assume. Thank you.
Yes, thank you also to the embassy of Serbia. Sandra, what a wonderful film. I wondered if you could tell us a bit more about the process of making the film.
Well, it took us around 4 years to make this film. Like 2 years we spent writing it and rewriting it, and then when we gathered the money to make it, we spent maybe a year in pre-production, and then a year in, 40 days in real production, but production and post-production took almost a year. So all in all, like 4 years to do the whole thing.
And why this film? Why this set of characters? What gave you the idea?
Well, I grew up in Belgrade, and I grew up in the building that is kind of similar to this building. And I was moving a lot as a young adult. When I was 18, I moved to London. I lived there for 4 years. Then I lived in New York for 6 years, and I changed numerous apartments in that period of time. And I never experienced that feeling that I had in my old neighborhood. You know, that type of nostalgia and that type of generational friendships when my grandma is a friend with my friend's grandma and they both lived in the same building. You know, I never experienced that anywhere in the world, and I really loved my old neighbors, and they inspired me to set the story in a building. And obviously each of the characters is always inspired by someone that you know and someone that you know of. So there are a set of characters who are not really inspired by particular neighbors, but the mood of the story and the setting is inspired by my old neighborhood.
Do you have a favorite moment in the film?
I have a few. Yeah,
I have a few. I'm very like all characters are my favorite characters, obviously. But the character of Živka, the old lady, she's based on my two grandmothers. You know, grandmothers in Serbia are very special deal. And my grandmother's like, one was kind of a gangsta, and the other one was kind of like a grandma who makes you cookies and everything. So I kind of merged these two grandmothers into one character. And she's maybe a special character for me. So towards the end of the movie, when everything is going crazy, you know, she has this moment where also we didn't see this actress who plays her in this type of roles and in this type of emotional moments. So for me, that was I actually like cried on set. She made me cry because it was very emotional for me when she was doing that scene. So that's something that definitely, and also all the scenes when they were together, when all of them were together, which is happening towards the end. That is something that stayed memorable.
I think she might be my favourite character as well. I don't know about the audience, but I laughed and I cried. A final question from me about the location and the building. Could you tell us a bit more about filming, and especially filming with so much water?
Oh yeah, we didn't film the water in the building, obviously, because no one would allow us that to flood the whole neighborhood. We found the building, we were very lucky, honestly, to find a building in Belgrade where people want to rent you 3 apartments in the same, and it's a small building. And I loved the exterior of the building. It was like ugly enough, I say, like it was cute and a bit ugly, and it was just perfect how I envisioned it. And we were really lucky that 3 people wanted to rent filmmakers the apartment and to move out for 2 months, which was an insane deal. So we used some apartments, we repainted them and used them as doubles. But the whole flood sequence was actually not filmed in the real building. We copied the staircase and 2 of the apartments, and we built them in the actual swimming pool, in the Olympic swimming pool. So it was all set, because we didn't know how to film the flood. It's huge. And we did it in Serbia, we don't have this type of studios, these big underwater studios for the flood. So we spent most of our budget on the flood. We built that, and then we just flooded it all. We put everything in the pool, we had a great special effect guy. Everything that you see are real effects, are practical effects. We had a very, very small amount, like the first scene when we are in the sewers, and maybe some touch-ups throughout the film, but mostly everything is a practical effect.
Wow, that's amazing. I'd like to turn the questions over to the audience, if anybody would like to ask Sandra a question.
Hi, Sandra. Thank you. It was a wonderful film. Loved it. Thank you. It was so refreshing. So, 2 questions. Is that a Serbian comedy when someone dies at the end? No, that's fine. And kind of, what led you to think about really actually having him die at the end? Because we were laughing. And I'm glad to hear you spent some time in the U.S. I saw a couple jabs, it's always the Americans' fault. Kind of, is that a Serbian thing? So those are my 2 questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, your last question, I had a similar question in San Diego last week on the festival. No, it was just something that me and my friends who were moving, we lived in US, and then we go to Belgrade, and we go to US, and generally all my friends who lived in Belgrade and somewhere else, we always, the grass is always greener on the other side, so we always, whenever we are complaining about how other is not good, so it was more like an internal thing. And when it comes to comedy, we call the film a 3-story comedy because it's not really a comedy. So we didn't, if it was just a comedy, it would be a bit pretentious to call it like that. So we called it a 3-story comedy just because it gives you more layers of different genres and stuff. I don't know, I didn't see, we debated a lot of people were very worried about the ending of the film, but honestly I didn't see the other ending for this character, because he he's the only, Milenko is the only character in the film which is kind of not realistic. All of them are humans, you know, with all of the flaws that they have and everything. But Milenko is kind of their guardian angel, you know, and so for me there was no other, in my head there was no other possible ending for him, unfortunately.
Congratulations, it is your first feature film. Amazing crew, I think you select. Every detail, technical detail was perfect, acting was perfect, the selection of the crew was excellent. I wonder about the cost of this film and how did you manage to create such production value film?
Well,
so high production value.
Well, everything looks we did this film under $1 million, which is crazy if you think about this plot and everything. In Serbia, it is cheaper to make films, and we do have tax incentives, 20%, which really helps. And also I had this company that I did film for, so we pre-sold the rights in pre-production to them, and they kind of sponsored the whole film. But yeah, definitely it's much easier to make this type of film in Serbia because everything is cheaper. Crew is cheaper, locations. I can't even envision if we try to make the set in Olympic pool anywhere else like in the world, how much would that cost?
So this film is also an excellent promotion of Serbia to film Serbia.
Oh, for sure. There are so many foreign productions filming right now. We have insanely talented crew, cast, as you can see. We have really good prices and also a really good tax incentive.
And it is my last comment. I don't want to exaggerate, but your film created me so many feelings, and it reminded me of Parasite. That
well,
the actor in Cannes. At the
yeah.
beginning it was comedy, and then it was the twist, and we had the anger, the fear. So thank you for creating all these feelings.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you for the invitation. The film was very interesting, many emotions. I'm really impressed. First thing, and I just want to be short. What is the main message of the film, or messages? Thank you.
Well, for me, the film has, depending what, it's an ensemble film, so you are following a few different characters and different storylines. So for me, it was always interesting after people watch the film how everyone connects with someone different, you know, and takes something different. For me, the general theme of the film is loneliness and how detached we are from one another as humans in 21st century, and how we always forget and neglect the people who are next to us and who are so close to us, and we always think they will be there forever, you know, because they're just so good and nice, and of course they will be, why they wouldn't. And I think of like family members, friends, even neighbors, you know. So yeah, it's about human emotions, human relationships, loneliness, kindness, and these special people who no one makes movies about, you know, like the main guy, Plumber. And I really wanted to do a film about little people, if I may call them like that, who are always there, but never in the spotlight, but they do so many things for us, even if we don't appreciate them.
Okay, thank you very much, Sandra. It's been a pleasure having you on your film here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So thank you very much, Sandra, and the wonderful audience. Thank the host of the night, the Embassy of Serbia, Mr. Kypros Iliadis, Mia, and the ambassador. I think we would like to show the next film. You can come tomorrow. The clock will have screening since 3:30, but please come at 8 o'clock. We have a wonderful film from Sudan. It was a winner in Cannes Festival and won the Liberty Award. I'm very proud of this film, and I fought, I make fights to bring this in Cyprus. The title is Goodbye Julia. So I recommend it to you as well.